bunch of gamers, one channel, and tons of games. This must be Games and Me. Hey guys, welcome to the Review Club. This is episode 30. We actually finally got here and all that stuff. And of course, we have everybody here except Ted. But he's recording Angry Root Gaming right now, so God bless him. And we also have Retrocalypse. So let's start with Retrocalypse. So what have you been playing, dude?
I have been playing Nights in the Nightmare, which is what I'm going to be reviewing today. I wish I could say that my life was interesting and I was playing something or anything else, but unfortunately, this game has taken up pretty much the last 3 weeks of my gaming time, and I just finished it last night, and I'm starting my second playthrough as of today.
That's incredible. That's a lot of dedication for one fucking game.
Yeah, but it's a great game, and I'll go into it in more detail, but yeah, sorry to spill the beans right away, but it's badass.
Cool. And we also have CK, so what have you been playing, sir?
Whew, man, I got nothing practically. A little bit more Phoenix Wright. You just can't stop once you start. But yeah, other than that, I mean, work has been crazy, so not a lot of time, but hopefully that'll change soon.
Cool. We also have Vanessa, so what have you been playing?
I'm kind of the opposite. I've been playing a lot. I've been playing Sims 3, Grand Slam Tennis, which I'm reviewing today, Bookworm. I've been addicted to Bookworm. I never thought I'd be addicted to a casual game. And I've been trying to wrap my head around Flower, Sun, and Rain, but I think my brain exploded when I had to plug into some guy's face, and I was like, what the heck?
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah, I did put about 2 hours into that.
Oh, shit.
Then I had to put it down. So
Nice. Chris?
Just Phoenix Wright and some Puzzle Quest challenge. All I've
Puzzle Quest?
had. Yeah.
Wow.
Challenge of the Warlords or the new one that came out, Puzzle Kingdoms? So you mean Puzzle Quest?
Challenge of the Warlords.
Nice.
All right. I've been playing Fight Night Round 3, the
Four, you
Conduit. Huh?
Four, you
Four.
mean?
Well, 3 also, kind of, because I wanted to compare it with Fight Night Round 4,
I gotcha.
which is, of course, the newest game in the series and stuff, and played a little bit of Crimson Gem Saga just to kind of get used to it and stuff, and I'm going to be reviewing that today, so... Alright, so let's jump right on it. So, Retrocalypse, can you preface your little review of Nights in the Nightmare for us, please?
Yes, I'm going to preface this by saying I am going to sound like a frothing fanboy, and it's completely intentional. I'm in love with this game, and Atlas has done such a fantastic job by bringing over this package. This is a game that, seriously, most companies would have balked at because there's no precedent for it whatsoever. This is a lot of people like to confuse it by calling it like a bullet hell strategy RPG, and they add all these other descriptors to it. Really, all it is an arcade action strategy RPG, which I didn't do much better explaining that. But that's the purpose of my review for it today, is to kind of get to the core of the game. I'm not going to be talking so much about the graphics and the music; they're amazing, but really what I want to do is talk about the mechanics of the game, because they're very, very in depth. And I also want to tell people to go to atlas.com and go to the Nights in the Nightmare page, or go to their channel on YouTube and check out their videos. It's definitely going to go a long way in showing you what exactly I'm talking about here.
Okay.
Well, let's start with what I think is one of the biggest features of this game, which is the battle system itself. Because it seems like, you know, it's real time, but at the same time, it's also an unlimited amount of time.
Correct.
With the WISP system. So do you want to elaborate on that?
Absolutely. A lot of people that I've talked to or I've read the reviews for, they talk about how the counter is, pressures them to do certain things. Well, the nice thing about Knights of the Nightmare is that the timer, you only lose time when you activate your knights or if you get hit by a bullet, which is an attack from an enemy. Now, the countdown is actually static. That's the only time it moves. So you have all the time in the world to dodge bullets and to plan your attacks. Of course, you're going to be multitasking during this time, but it's not a turn-based game. It's completely, once you actually start the round, the battle, after you've done all of your tactics and set up your strategies, it's pure arcade action. And the nice thing about it is that you can really take your time to figure out what you want to do while you're dodging bullets.
So I mean, I looked at the video before our recording and stuff, and I kind of saw like their little introduction and stuff, and then they basically like control this wisp, and it basically like possess this dead soldier and stuff. Like are there like different types of units? Like how many types of units do you have in the game to kind of use and all that stuff?
Okay, well, there's 7 different types of knights. They're all actually considered knights. There's a lance knight, a warrior, a wizard, a priestess, duelist, hermit, and an archer. Now, the differences between these are they each have a special ability. They each have 2 different attack patterns. Whether or not you attack in law mode or chaos mode, you get a different attack pattern for that. There's also a few other differences. For instance, a lance knight can actually turn in all 4 directions. All of the other units can only turn in 2 directions, which definitely gives you some problems to overcome right away as far as strategy goes. This is a complaint with some people that I've noticed, but really this is sort of like approaching a chess table and complaining that the pawn can only move forward, that sort of thing. These knights, they all have special abilities, but they also have limitations, and let's see, only 2 of the units can actually move. Only a lance knight can move, and a lance knight and a duelist can move, but only during the chaos phase. And let me explain the chaos phase in the law phase. The game sort of goes through this. It's got a law mode and a chaos mode, and really the only difference is you can do one kind of attack range in law mode, and the other attack range takes place in chaos mode. Now, whenever you attack a creature in the game, whenever you connect a hit, gems come out, and as the mist from that level clears, in every level there's a mist that covers the screen slightly, and every time you connect a hit, it goes away a little bit and a little bit, and you'll start collecting gems, and there'll be a lot at the beginning, but as soon as you start hitting too many times, they'll start to get harder to grab, so you'll have to switch phases, and then you go to the chaos phase and it's misted over again and stuff like that, so you get a different set of attacks. I know it sounds really in-depth, very heady material, so I do apologize in advance if this is going over everybody's head.
Well, it certainly sounds like there's a lot of strategic give and take going on with the battle system here. It almost reminds me of chess in some way. It's like you're making that pawn comparison as far as like restricted moves. But one thing I wanted to ask about was the vitality stat. Because apparently, so if I'm not mistaken, so you have the vitality and it decreases when you use skills or like other things, but then you can replenish it by leveling up. What happens when you lose your vitality altogether? Is that like equivalent to death, or is this kind of replacing health, or how does it work exactly?
Okay, well, you have quite a few questions there, so I'm going to address the attacks first. There's 3 different attacks in the game. There's normal attacks, then there's skill attacks, which requires a weapon, and then there's high attacks, which requires a weapon, and for that weapon's element to be the same as your particular knight's element. Each of these takes away a specific amount of vitality. Obviously, the more powerful the attack, the more vitality. Now, vitality works where every time you do an attack, of course, it drains you a little, and once you hit 0, that's the death of that particular knight. Now, you can boost the vitality by, as you said, leveling up, which whenever you defeat monsters, you get experience points, which go into a pool, so you can choose exactly who you want to put those experience points toward. Also, you can transsoul, which takes a knight that you're not particularly interested in anymore, and you can put their soul into another knight, and there's actually different factors that determine what benefits they get from this. If they share the same race, if they share the same element, that sort of thing, and the same order of knights, which is something I don't want to get into with this review, because we would just be talking about this for hours. So that would determine how much of a benefit you get. An increase in vitality, you'll get your light and your chaos index, which is how powerful your light and dark attacks are and stuff like that. All of that factors into the transouling, and that would also increase your vitality. That's one way to keep your knights going strong. And, you know, really, since the knights themselves don't have any particular statistics, like strength or intelligence or anything like that, they're all pretty interchangeable. They each have a little bit of a personality, and they're kind of cool, and they get like some unique lines of dialogue. But otherwise, you shouldn't feel hesitant at all to just jettison the guys that are not doing as well and transouling them into something a little bit more powerful. Pretty much throughout my experience with the game, I kept one knight alive from each class, and I did just fine on the normal mode. So